Hi everybody, I'm Julie Kerr, and if you want to, I'm an indie filmmaker. If you want to know more about me or my movies, yeah, you can check out my website down below. And I wanted to make this video because I've talked about I've talked about when women are mean. I've talked about some women when men are mean. You know, some men. I believe like 95% of people are pretty great. Like, I love humans. I love non-binary people. Y'all are great. Like, I love everybody. So I do want to say that what I had to realize, what slowed me down in following my dreams, was like me letting people be mean and me encountering people who you could call them assholes or jerks. Or also there's a lot of videos on narcissism, people with narcissistic disorder, which is a very sophisticated way of being mean. So I want to make a video about I know I'm going to title this like, when someone's being subtly mean, they're still mean. So yeah, and I wanted to talk about that because I think like it did slow me down a lot. And also statistically, as an indie filmmaker, yeah, I think like 95% of people are really awesome. I completely made up that statistic, but I think it's just that 5%. It's just that 5% of assholes. They seem to get a lot of work done as assholes, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. Like, man, those assholes, they get a lot of shittiness done. And because of that, I want to make these videos to just to help y'all out, like to help y'all out on avoiding the pitfalls of encountering assholes. So, the first thing I'm going to say is that mean is mean. So I don't like microaggressions. So, you know, here's an example of a very silly microaggression, but it does add up. So if I'm at brunch and I'm just enjoying a bagel and I think the bagel is delicious, and I'm like, wow, this bagel is delicious. A microaggression is, really, you think the bagel's delicious? Now, I'm exaggerating, but that is a microaggression because it's like, why can't I just think a bagel's delicious? So if that sounds silly, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area where there's just this silly, weird version of microaggressions, and I don't understand where they come from. I'm kind of exaggerating, but not exaggerating. And having said that, there's a lot of amazing people in the San Francisco Bay Area for sure. But I have to avoid people with microaggressions because it's just like, it's like tiny ways of being mean, and it does add up, and I just don't want to do it anymore. Okay, so I just want to be around people who are chill and kind and sweet. You know what I mean? I want to be able to enjoy my bagel. Come on, life is hard. I can't enjoy the bagel? Okay, so here's what I want to say. Okay. I'm going to use action figures. So this is Captain Phasma, and you know, basically in the series she's the villain, so she represents assholes. And then I have another action figure. This is Cinderella, who's really sweet and nice, and most of her friends are mice and birds. Which just makes her sweet. So this is Cinderella, who's really sweet. And Cinderella, okay, so she's going to represent people who are kind. And Captain Phasma has a really cool outfit, but a really shiny outfit. But Captain Phasma is an asshole. Okay, here's something I've encountered where when I'm around someone like Captain Phasma, it makes me feel bad. And I think there's been 3 different women since I'm a lesbian, and I actually set boundaries with men pretty easily because I'm gay. But I didn't set good boundaries with women. I let them treat me like garbage, la la la. Okay, so with Captain Phasma, what I wanted to say was, okay, so there's a certain version of being mean that I've encountered, mainly from women. So, like, where it's kind of sophisticated, so you don't pick up on it at first. And so, and anyone can be mean like this, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. But I think it's quite sophisticated, and so respectfully, I feel like I've been in 3 situations, and then I went to therapy, but I've been in 3 situations where I basically became a woman's bitch. Like, it was sad, I had low self-esteem, I was simping, if you will. I was just like, I was their bitch. It did not feel good, I didn't like it. And I think it was like one person, yeah, and then another person, yeah. And then so 3 different women, I was their bitch. And not in a fun way, not in a good way. It was awful. It was awful. But I want to tell you, how did they get me? How did they get me? Because I don't want them to get you. Okay, now, for the record, I think 95% of women, men, non-binary people are fantastic. It's just that 5% that sucks. Okay. Yeah, okay. So here's what they do. Because it's basically emotional abuse. It's verbal abuse if we're going to be really serious about this. But this is what they do. I'm going to put Captain Phasma down. But what they do is they'll say something mean, so say something mean, and then they'll say something nice. And then if you have low self-esteem, or if you grew up in an abusive home like I did, like you're caught in this cycle where you're kind of like jumping through hoops and becoming their bitch because you're trying to get to sentence number 5. You're trying to get them to say one nice thing to you. And they will say one nice thing to you every 5 sentences. Yeah. So mean, and then they'll say something nice. And so all of a sudden you're jumping through hoops, you're changing who you are, you're being controlled because you're just trying to get to sentence number 5. And that's what's happened to me, and it's very sophisticated. And I was in this cycle, and you know, I grew up in an abusive home, blah, blah, blah. But that's what happened to me, and that's how I became that's how I became Captain Phasma's bitch 3 times. So I don't want to do that anymore. Because it sucks and it's painful and it hurts. And I went to therapy, and my therapist was a woman. I did it through BetterHelp. She lives somewhere in the Midwest, but she helped me just learn how to set better boundaries specifically with women. Since I'm gay and I'm attracted to women, you know, when you're attracted to somebody, when your hormones kick in, then your brain goes out the window. And that's how you become someone's bitch, and it sucks. So, all right, I don't recommend it, because now that I'm 40 years old, like, when I'm attracted to a woman, I'm like, cool, awesome. But then let me check the criteria, you know. It's like, okay, but is this person kind, caring, loving, sexy, quick-witted? Like, you know, I do want excitement in a healthy way, you know. Or is it going to be exciting and fun to be with them in a healthy way? So, all right. So last thing I want to say about this is, here's how I became Captain Phasma's bitch 3 times. That's a metaphor. I was 3 different women's bitch. It was awful. It was awful. I was simping. Oh, it was bad. It was so bad. Okay. I felt like garbage. It was terrible. Okay. But here's what happened. Okay, judgment versus too laid back. So I used to be like really, really, really judgmental. I used to like as far as my wall, metaphorically, the wall around my heart, so to speak, like it was really tall and thick, and like I didn't let anyone in, so I was really judgmental. And in hindsight, that was a way of protecting myself. So, but it wasn't healthy. Like judging people is not healthy. It's not good for your mental health. Like, but I was just naturally very judgmental. I was too uptight, that kind of thing. And I just went too far with being judgmental and uptight and that kind of thing. So I kept people out. I kept healthy people out because I was just too judgmental. So I was like, well, I'm too judgmental. That's not cool. Don't judge. So I went from being judgmental to being like way too laid back, way too gracious. So I went from having like too many boundaries, or if you will, to having no boundaries, or if you will. And I was like too loosey-goosey. I was too laid back. And so the 3 situations where I was around a woman who's like Captain Phasma, I'd be like, well, I have to do what she says, because, you know, she's a woman. No. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. Because, you know, my statistic that I completely made up, 5%, let's just say 5% of women can be assholes. So it's like, no, I don't have to do everything they say just because they are a woman. That is not feminism. Not at all. So I can set boundaries with women, and it feels good, and it's okay. Like, and there's like so many women in the world, or non-binary people as well. And I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, so there's tons of queer women in San Francisco. Like, it's a buffet. So you know, I can set boundaries. I can totally set boundaries. I don't have to have a scarcity mindset when it comes to love. I don't have to have a scarcity mindset when it comes to romantic love or women. I can have an abundance mindset because it's a healthier way to go. But yeah, I went from being really judgmental to being way too laid back, letting people treat me like garbage or Captain Phasma, and then being like, well, that's okay. It's okay that they treat me like garbage because, I mean, they're a woman. Whoa. That's not feminism. No. Oh, what was I doing? What was I thinking? And that's okay. I forgive myself. So, no, it's healthy to set boundaries. Like, with men, women, it's healthy to set boundaries. Okay, so what I did was I found a healthy balance. So the healthy balance is knowing what my boundaries are in general. Now I can sniff out a Captain Phasma with her bobblehead. I can sniff out a Captain Phasma like so quick. So if I'm getting Captain Phasma vibes, or narcissistic vibes or whatever, when I catch those vibes, I'm like, peace out, no, been there, done that, no thanks. Been there, done that 3 times, so no thank you. Yeah, so I've just learned how to set boundaries, which is good. So, and look, the other thing I want to say is, for all intents and purposes, like, you know, my dad had nuance, but also my dad, at the end of the day, he was an asshole, like he just was. He passed away and about a year ago. So I don't want to be anything like my dad, nothing like my dad, which is why I really like Luke Skywalker. Because like when Luke Skywalker finds out about Darth Vader, he's like horrified, spoiler alert. Because it's like Luke Skywalker wants to carve out his own legacy. So like, yeah, I don't want to be anything like my dad. So, but what I had to like learn interpersonal relationship skills, healthy, and I had to learn them on my own, reading books, that kind of thing. That's what I had to learn. What's my point in saying that? Oh, so that is to say, like, you know, I kind of used to do this. I wasn't that bad, but I used to be judgmental, like really judgmental. So I would say something judgmental, and then I would say something nice, and you could see how like people don't want to be around that because like people like to feel good, people like compliments, people like to feel good. So I just don't do that anymore. Like I was like, I don't do that anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm nothing like my dad, but it's like, yeah, I used to like something judgment, something nice. I used to kind of do this low key and it was bad. So now I don't do that anymore. I always, if I'm feeling like grumpy or sad, I stay home. I don't go out. I find my inner chill. You know what I mean? And if I am going to go out and hang out with people and have fun, like I emotionally prepare myself to be kind and loving and caring and good and sweet because, you know, that's the kind of people want to be around. And one last thing, one of the best books like ever written on people skills, because like if you were raised by an asshole, it's like, well, how do I not be an asshole? Well, okay, one of the best books on people skills is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The Only Book You Need to Lead You to Success. This is all about people skills. It's practical, tactful conversation. It's just really good communication skills on how to be kind and loving with the way you talk, like the way you talk. That way you're not being mean to someone for enjoying a bagel. Let people enjoy their bagels. Okay, so, and there's even a chapter where it's called criticism, and it's like, when is it okay to criticize people? The book, and the book says, never. The book says, just don't criticize people. I'm reading this and I'm like, oh my gosh, Dale Carnegie is a genius. You're right, like, why criticize people? And that's, like, why do it? If you're at a party, like, why? And like, it's different, like, if you're like a coach, if you're coaching someone and you're coaching them on how to play tennis, even then you don't have to criticize them. You're just helping them with their tennis technique. So there's coaching and advising, and you might correct their technique, I still wouldn't call that criticizing. That's helping someone become better at tennis. So, you know, yeah, people need improvement, but that's if you're in a, you know, let's say your doctor wants you to eat healthier. Well, that's your doctor. So that's the doctor's job. But for the most part, you don't really need to criticize people like in a social situation. Like, why? Why would you do that? Okay, so, all right, so, this is, you know, so this is the video. Sometimes being subtle and mean is still being mean, so don't be mean, do good, don't date mean people. And I just want to say, this is my joke, but like, kind people can be good at sex. Okay, anyway, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, people who are empathetic, they still got skills, like, in the bedroom. So I just want to say that, like, yeah, like, kindness is sexy, empathy is sexy, like, nice people have good sex, so, like, come on, like, let's be cool. So, be cool, all right, so yeah, don't be mean, be kind, be loving, be caring, like, and yeah, be awesome. So, yeah, this is my video on how, you know, when someone's subtly mean, it's still mean. I'm Julie Kerr. I'm an indie filmmaker. I've made some great movies, so if you want to check out any of my stuff, you can check out the link below to my website. Thanks for watching. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Love, joy, kindness, bagels. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thank you.